Welcome to the Adventist Hoops podcast. I'm here with Washington Adventist University's men's head coach, Jerry McFarland. Jerry, welcome to the Adventist Hoops podcast.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to join you here in the podcast, and I really respect everything you do for Adventist basketball.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you're here. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your story, where you're from, and how you got into coaching and your coaching journey, because you've had a significant coaching journey over 30 years of coaching at various levels.
Yeah, wow. Actually, I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, military brat, really. So my childhood, I was in Germany and spent time in Germany. Everything. My parents got divorced. Mom here, dad stayed in Germany. So when we moved to Alexandria, Virginia, and we were living with different relatives in Alexandria, and basically went to private school there, Bishop Ireton High School, and in the Catholic League, one of the best leagues in the country, with DeMatha, Gonzaga, St. John's, Paul VI, you name it. Enjoyed my time playing there and everything else. And then after graduating from Bishop Ireton, I played locally at Marymount University. Was actually on the first ever men's basketball team at Marymount, and actually scored the first basket ever in men's basketball at Marymount University. So I enjoyed that, enjoyed the guys I played with, and I appreciate Webb Hatch, who is the head coach there, for giving me an opportunity. And even at Bishop Ireton, played for Paul DiStefano and Bill Gibson at Bishop Ireton, and went on to Marymount University, enjoyed my time at Marymount. After leaving Marymount, my high school coach at Bishop Ireton asked me if I wanted to come back and help out. So I started, Pete Hamer actually got the head coaching job at Bishop Ireton, and I became his assistant. So I did that for like 3 or 4 years. No, actually like 5 years. And then the next 4 years, I ended up coaching the JV, being the head coach of the JV team at Bishop Ireton. Did that for a few years. Then my son actually started coming through the ranks, and he was at Bishop Ireton. He played for us at Bishop Ireton, and then ended up, when I left to go to Riverdale Baptist, under Coach Lou Wilson, well-renowned coach in our area named Lou Wilson, probably one of the most winningest coaches in the DMV. Coach Wilson, we had a nice squad. We had Mike Beasley, who's now a professional, who had many great years with the Heat, Lakers, and in the NBA period. Nolan Smith, who is now associate head coach at Louisville. We had some really good players, at Riverdale Baptist while I was there. Then ended up going to Coolidge High School a few years later. And at Coolidge High School, we did some great things under Vaughn Jones. Had 2 championship teams at Coolidge. Really felt good about that. Had Deshaun Mormon, Kalen Sutherland. So it was good. It was good. Then after that, I met with Keith Beckett, who was, at the time, he was the athletic director at Takoma Academy, and he gave me an opportunity to coach at Takoma Academy. I was there for another 4 or 5 years, and then after being there for 4 or 5 years, Coach Pat Curry here at Washington Adventist gave me an opportunity to come over and be his assistant here at Washington Adventist. So I've been here for 6 years, Coach was an assistant under him for 3. Then we had the COVID year, and then this is my 3rd year here at Washington Adventist as the men's head basketball coach. That at a place that I love being.
Now you are a Christian, but you're not Adventist. So what has it been like for you? What do you enjoy about coaching? You've coached at 2 different Adventist schools now at high school and college level.
To me, it's no different. I mean, I just think that it's, you know, one of the biggest things that I learned about, coaching at both Takoma Academy and Washington Adventist University is the genuine love and how much that the community embraces, um, just doing the right thing, just Christianity as a whole. So it's not much different from, me I grew up, my grandfather is a Baptist minister. So, I'm non-denominational. I believe in Jesus Christ. So my biggest thing is that we continue to bring young men and women to Christ, which is, his calling for us.
You have a lot of playing experience, a lot of coaching experience. Going back to your playing experience, high school and college, what's something that's a part of today's game that you wished would have been a part of the game back when you were playing?
Of course, the number of threes. We wouldn't shoot threes like we allow them to shoot now. So, all of us guards, we love to be able to shoot threes, and we just didn't do that at the rate that that they do it now. We didn't really do that back in the day. I enjoy the evolution of the game of basketball, just watching it as it evolves. The work that young men put into development in terms of their bodies physically and everything else to play a game that they love.
There's a lot more individual skill development too, it seems now, with a lot of trainers out there, a lot of videos you can watch. And I think players are just more skilled now than they were, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, but I think that's the gift and the curse though, because I think that players are more skilled, but they definitely don't have the basketball IQ that guys in my
Well,
day had
learning
because they don't get
skills,
out.
mastering skills is different than playing basketball.
Exactly. So I think that they spend a lot of time mastering skills. But I just remember growing up where everybody in the community went to the local basketball courts and played. So they played so much that just different things that they picked up.
Coach,
And
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no,
I
I
was going
just
to,
feel like that's you got to do both. You can't do, I think sometimes we focus or the thought process is one over the other.
mhm.
I think that it's a balance and both have their benefit. And it's really, really, really good players can play anywhere. And the reason that they can play anywhere is because they develop the individual skills sets that can take them to many different places.
Right. When you said that, when you were a kid, you just go play, everyone would go play. I've noticed over the last couple decades, I guess, since I've been an adult and, seeing kids that I've been coaching, certainly there's kids that are super driven to get better at basketball, but there's a lot of kids that are at Adventist academies, I'll say specifically, that in the past, I feel like there was a greater desire to just play more throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And now it may seem like it's more, especially at the high school level, I'm going to show up for the season, play, and, then after the season, I'll be done. And I just wonder like why that is, or if I am crazy in thinking that, and if that has anything to do with video games, gaming, social media, and people are getting that interaction. I mean, we had to go play with friends out in the neighborhood if we were going to get any of that, social interaction. So I do wonder if social media has maybe killed a little bit of that spirit of, hey, I love playing. I'm going to play because it's where I get to, meet people and build friendships and just have fun. Whereas now kids are like this all day, just looking at their screen. But
Yeah. Well, I think it's like it goes back to the evolution of basketball, but also just the our society, for us, we only had a couple channels on our TV. So our parents didn't want us in the house doing nothing all day. So they made us go outside.
Yeah.
So outside, we became more creative. We figured different things to do. Uh, Even in the game of basketball, we created different games from the game of basketball to play. So I think that's just the difference. Guys were more creative back then in
What's your
terms of getting
favorite
across
childhood?
themselves.
What's your favorite childhood variation of basketball? Some sort of game that you played?
Oh, it always has to be 21.
21.
21
Okay.
is, yeah, 21 is like, it's you and it's like all of you are fighting to get to 21 and it's every man for themselves. But, as the young people now who, when they play 21, they don't play any defense. But like for
They
us,
let
it
like
would be
they
like,
designate one person that you're not gonna score. You play defense.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, back in the day, we all had to play D. So,
Now, do you get to shoot a free throw on your first make?
yes, yes.
What
You
about an
shoot a
extra free throw on your first set of free throws in 21?
no. You miss,
Okay.
once you miss, it goes and you just play
But if
off
you
that.
make
But
all and we played 3 free throws after your first make, and if you made all 3, you got to take another free throw.
oh no, we didn't
You didn't
play
do
that.
that. Okay. Okay.
Nah. You had to shoot from the top of the key. You know,
No free
the
throws.
first one, the first one you get at the free throw line,
Okay.
and then the next one,
You got to earn it.
you shot at the top of the key, and it was just regular play after that.
Okay. Okay.
So somebody, if you made the free throw, somebody actually had to D up on you.
Did you ever play like at the park or whatever? Did you ever play no threes?
Nah,
Like only twos?
nah, nah.
Not I'm not talking about ones and twos. I'm talking about there's no 3 pointers.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Nah, we
Yeah.
always had the 3-point line.
Okay.
And now
Because
we
some
didn't.
places I've played, they like you take a three and they're like, there's no threes. We're not playing.
Oh
There's no
yeah,
threes in
yeah,
this game. All right.
yeah. You get, old guys. We don't like to run a whole lot. So if we don't have to chase you off the 3-point line, then that's a benefit. So we play all twos.
All right.
That's
All
to the
right.
benefit of the big guys. So we have to make it, make the game fun for us guards also. So,
Coach, as you think about your, childhood, your playing days, and you think about how you develop players now and how you guide them through their basketball journey, do you think that are you more influenced as a coach by your playing career and the things that that these players are thinking and experiencing because you've walked in their shoes, or have you been more influenced in your coaching by the coaches because you've served under a number of coaches and been coached by a number of coaches?
uh, I think I think for me um,
Could be a
it's been
mixture
a
too.
combination. It's probably more of just life. Like I coach pretty much more about life than there's so many things that the game of basketball can teach you and places that you can go with it. I'm a true believer in the compass and the watch approach.
Mm.
Everybody has a goal or a place that they're trying to get to, but they don't understand that your compass and your watch have to be in alignment for you to get to the places that you're trying to go to. Compass gives you direction, and a watch is like a tracker of time. So if your compass and clock aren't in alignment, you pretty much could be going in the wrong direction and not understanding the time that and not doing the most with the time that you have. So when I coach, I let everybody know. People come in as a freshman, and almost to the and me and my guys were just talking about this. My seniors were talking about this. Every single one of them came in as freshmen thinking that they were going to start.
Mm.
And so just understanding the process it takes to be a good basketball player and respecting the process is big. So I think that's for me is teaching the process and having them trust me and accept the fact that I'm going to lead them in the right direction, and I'm not going to lead them down a way that they shouldn't be going.
Well, it's just like anything, the more that you learn about something, the more you don't know as much as you could know, right?
Exactly.
And so I think, I was talking with somebody else about this the other day. Kids need to come in with maybe a little more. I'm not talking about your kids, but just in general, I hear a lot of kids that feel like they know basketball quite a bit, and then they come in with that attitude. And I'm still trying to learn. I am listening to assistant coaches in the NBA talk about different coverages and using terms that they're literally making up. Like, they're the trendsetters. They're making it. I don't know what they're talking about, So to have some humility and understand that there's a lot that can be learned from someone that's been coaching as long as you, or wherever the person is playing, I think is a valuable asset for any younger player.
Oh yeah, because the game is so different, and high school, your best player is going to take all your shots. In college is your most efficient players are taking your shots. So it's like you only have so many possessions in college. So and all of us now have synergy and all types of analytical stuff that we can use to help us gain a competitive advantage, and we all use it. So we're not going to just let someone else best player you know just dominate us. So you have to be able to go to something else. You have to be able to have counters to stuff. And as basketball players, your game has to evolve. You can't just be a one trick pony in college. You actually have to be able to know how to make reads on the first level, second level, and three level type of score, as well as a person who can read coverages on all three levels.
We should point out here that Washington Adventist University is NAIA, and you are playing in the Continental Athletic Conference. Is that right? Or Continental
Yeah, yeah, Continental Athletic Conference.
Athletic Conference, yeah. Um, and you mentioned Synergy, which is a service that provides video and analytics. Um, and does your conference require all the teams to upload all their game footage so everyone has access to everything?
No,
Okay.
no, we well, all of those things are based on resources. So, when you're smaller schools, you may not have the resources to do all of that. So, it's not something that is required.
What's interesting is I was talking to one of the coaches at Tony Nakashima. He's the women's coach at Walla Walla University in Washington, and they're part of the NAIA Cascade Collegiate Conference, and they're required to share all of their video to every team. So every team has everyone's film, and they think it just makes a better product. Everyone can prepare, and it's just more fun, more exciting to be able to, game plan and see the adjustments that the other team can make when that they've game planned for you. And so anyway, it's an interesting
Yeah,
concept.
yeah. I assume that people, whether they're required to do it or not, I assume that they will call one of their friends to get our stuff anyway.
I was going to say, I mean, when I was playing, it was like, who do you know? Who are you friends with that you
Exactly.
can share film with? And yeah,
Yeah,
those were
they
VHS days.
basically they're going to look at our schedule, look who we've played,
Yeah.
and say, okay, I have a friend that has a friend that knows this guy. Let me call him and see if I can get some tape from him, and we get it done. We're
Yeah.
we're we're,
Well,
we're
that's what I'm
one
saying.
big
It's happening anyway. So maybe
yeah
that's something that CIC can look into, because it just saves everybody time. If you're going through all these different sources, meeting people, for you know, transferring footage or whatever. I know that doesn't happen that way anymore, but yeah.
yeah yeah. So I mean, I think to a certain extent, it would be the requirement aspect of it is what would kind of make it harder to do in the CAC. Uh, just if it wasn't required to do, then I think everybody, like you said, would do it anyway. I think
Right.
the aspect of us or someone saying that we have to makes it difficult. But
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about your AAU coaching experience. You coached a number of teams in AAU over the years. Um, some people kind of knock AAU, saying that it doesn't really help players' development. It's just a showcase for stars. I mean, what was your experience like in AAU? And we should mention you coached some players when they were younger, Michael Beasley from the NBA and other NBA players and professional players. I mean, what was your experience like?
My experience was great. Coaching, like you said, Mike Beasley, Rodney Magruder, um, with DC Assault. Then going to Team Loaded down in Richmond and coaching Isaiah Todd and Henry Coleman, who's now at Texas A&M. Just having opportunity to coach great players, I think and very talented players makes a difference. Because I think too when you coach, you have to coach talent. You have to know that you can coach talent
Mm.
as well as you can coach guys when they're not as talented. So I think having that diversity on my resume kind of helps me where I feel like, basketball is basketball. You can put me in a high school environment. I'm going to coach just as hard in that environment as if I'm in a professional environment. And I was coaching the NBA here at WAU. I'm going to coach just as hard as if I was at Duke. So, and my thing to everybody that, WAU is my Duke. So, just like Mike Krzyzewski has Duke and has put everything into Duke to make it what it is, I feel, I'm the same way wherever I go. Whether I was, when I was a head coach at Takoma Academy, we were very successful there because that's the way I treated it. Like, I may not get a shot anywhere else, so I'm gonna give this spot everything that I can give, and I feel the same way here at WAU. Since I've been here, we've even before I got here, Coach Curry, very successful in winning. Then my biggest thing is, since I've been here and been the head coach, we've had, back-to-back 21 seasons. Hopefully we do it again this year. We were 22-8 last year. Uh, Hurt me that we didn't make the tournament, being 22-8, but that happens. We should have been, you know,
One game away, right?
yeah,
You're in the
exactly.
semifinal of your conference tournament. Yeah.
Semifinals in our conference tournament and
Yeah. And 11
lost
and 1
to
in conference. So, you did great in conference.
yeah. But the team we lost to won the conference. So,
Yeah.
I think that's where you have to push to. You can't complain about anything. At the end of the day, you got to win it. So
Yeah.
for us, we had the opportunity. We didn't take advantage of it. And, my guys are good. They're resilient. And I just like the way that they fight for each other and that you know, they understand that this journey that they go on is unique and every year is a different team. So
Right.
last year's team is different than my first year's team, and this year is going to be different than last year. But they enjoy the journey, and it's the birth, the dash, and then the end of the season. So right now we're working on the dash for 23 to 24. So I'm excited about that.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I've done kind of a deep dive into all of the Adventist colleges and basketball programs. There's 8 schools that have basketball programs. The one that does not is Southern Adventist University. And WAU is the preeminent basketball school right now in Adventist basketball. 22-8 last year in an NAIA conference. Um, and of course, I mean, I gotta ask you. I don't. I think this was when you were an assistant coach, but there's 2 wins against NCAA Division I schools, Howard and Delaware State. Were those
Yes,
both in the same season in
yes,
2019 to
yes.
2020?
Both in the
So
same season. Uh,
how
it
did you
was it
guys
was
do that? How did you do that?
uh, to be honest, I feel like we were just better. I think Coach did a great job of preparing the guys. And when you look back at it, one thing about the guys that we bring in, they're not going to back down from anyone. So it's not about the other team. It's about us and how we play. And I think Coach Curry and I have the same philosophy when it comes to that. And on any given day, if a team doesn't play up to their standard, and play a little bit above your head or to your standard, you can knock people off. And we have most of our guys are from the DMV area, so basketball is like a hotbed here. So we're not going to walk into anywhere fearing anything, and I think that was a big thing. Like we came into both of those games very confident that we were going to win the game from the beginning, and both games were close games, could have went either way. But we were more together, and sometimes when you're in those situations, the team that is supposedly the favorite, the longer it stays close, they start to tighten up and make mistakes. Wherein if you just keep your composure and keep playing, you never know what can happen. And that's just basketball. That's why you got to love it. No matter where you are and what the situation, you have the same opportunities to be successful as they do.
I was reading an article about the game against Howard, I believe, and it was their coach's first game. The first game as the head coach. It's a rough way to start your tenure there, getting upset. But what a success! I mean, I imagine, I don't know what you heard back that year, but that's the only victory that an Adventist school has had over a Division I opponent, and to do twice in one season is pretty remarkable. Pretty amazing. And you don't do that without having great players. So I wanted to ask you about some of the players that have come through WAU. There are some players that are playing professionally now. I have Elijah Maynard, who's over in Great Britain right now playing. What are some of your players that have come through that you want to highlight that people should know their name?
Terrence Miyamba, he's playing overseas as well. He's in France, as well as Xavier Sewell. He's playing overseas as well. I think he's in Turkey right now. Brian Bridgeforth, he's been a staple. He was actually here before I got here, but is definitely, he comes back a lot, willing to talk to the guys. And everything else is just about his journey and how much he appreciates his time here and playing for Coach Curry. And just, the brotherhood, establishing that brotherhood and everything else has been big. Uh, uh, Elliot Meredith played overseas as well. Played for Coach Curry. I never got a chance to coach him, but I know him very well, and he did a great job here. Playing for Washington Adventist University, and actually was on that championship team that Coach Curry coached. For the USC AA championship as well as the conference championship. They won both a USCA double national championship as well as the conference championship. And NCAA. I mean
Was that
NAI.
2019, 2020?
Yeah.
That one?
Was it 90 before the year before I got here? So I think that was 19. Was it 19? No, that was before that. I think it was 18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was 2018, 2019.
Another really great player that has just graduated is Freddie Liriano. I mean, it's hard to know. My speculation is that he's probably one of the best Adventist guards that we've had in either quite some time, or you might be talking about one of the greats just statistically, and you've seen it firsthand. Talk about Freddie.
Freddie, I mean, I've been blessed to coach Freddie for 6 years. He played for me at Takoma Academy. When he came in, everyone wanted him to play varsity because he's so spectacular with the basketball and so quick. And he played JV, but then played as a sophomore. was my starting point guard on varsity. Had a great career at Takoma Academy, and when I came here, he had another year at Takoma Academy, and I just knew we were going to go back and get him, and we were blessed that he chose us over going to Oakwood or any other Adventist institution, and we didn't actually plan on him starting, but he came in as a freshman, was made his impression on us and kind of helped us a lot in those two D1 wins, which kind of for him helped push our team, as well as put us in situations to win as well as himself. So he has. I don't think he's won less than 20 games. He's the winningest players in 4 years. I think he won over 80 something games here. And so that's a testament to him as well as the guys that we've had that he's been able to play with. He hasn't always been the best player, but he's been the player that the team needs. So he's been, for us achieving the things that we need to achieve as a team and program. You have to have a Freddie Lariano. He's probably the best point guard that I've had in terms of being able to be that small and be effective. And it's just because of his leadership and his basketball IQ, playing the game the right way. He knows the right way to play the game, and he's been playing that way, for a long time. So blessed to have him, and he's actually on my staff. I still haven't let him go. I'm still holding on. So he's getting his master's degree. So he's a GA on our staff, and he's given our guys a whole lot of knowledge, and just him to be able to be around, and he's learning a whole lot about collegiate athletics, because he's going to be a coach one day on a high level. So all you college coaches need to come get him, Freddie Lariano.
When you talk about a kid's journey like that, you never know. You're talking to some teenager, and then when they come out a man, what the possibilities are endless. What when you are recruiting someone, what kind of experience are they going to have at WAU, and specifically within the culture of your basketball program? What can they expect if they're listening to this right now and they're considering, sending you an email or reaching out to you to show some interest? What can they expect to experience?
A family atmosphere. We're very family oriented. Guys are extremely close. We, value each other top to bottom, and we hold each other accountable. They hold me accountable. I hold them accountable, and just the entire process of being a full student athlete, where it's the whole person. We want that growth, spiritually, athletically, academically, and individually and emotionally. So just being able to have that and be that piece to help them, because everyone comes in with different goals. So my thing is to, as a coach, and our players' things is to meet you where you are. So if you say you want to be a professional, well, we should see professional work ethic. If you say, hey, I just want to be a regular student, come here and enjoy while I'm being a really good student. I want to enjoy college basketball and go on to be a doctor or whatever. Well, we're going to hold you to that when you get here. We're going to let you know when you're slipping academically. We're going to hold you accountable, but we also are going to do it like your brother. And that's, to me, the biggest part of our program, is that when you come here, you're going to be a part of a family environment, and the fact that we're going to push you but we're going to push you to be the greatest version of yourself that you can be. We don't try to change people. We try to make them the best version of themselves.
Hmm. That's beautiful. Um, you've been in an Adventist school here with TA and with WAU for this is your 11th year, I guess. 4 years at Takoma and 6 years here, and this is your 7th year at WAU. And
Mm-hmm.
you've gotten to experience some of the sister school relationships. You guys play Oakwood home and away, I think, every year.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go down to the Southwestern Adventist University tournament with TA. What have you how much do you value it? You'd mentioned you're not Adventist yourself, you're Christian, but have you come to appreciate the relationships between the sister schools, and what value do you place on that? Because the reason I'm asking is because your AD, Jared Lyons, he said you're instrumental in making sure that Oakwood matchup happens every year, and making sure that continues to happen.
Yeah, I think that, like, for me, to be honest, when every year we would go to Southwest, when I was at TA, we would go to Southwest and Southwestern, and then we uh, went to Loma Linda. It uh,
That's the Mecca.
into
That's the
Yes,
that's the big.
it made me feel the need to actually always make sure that the Oakwood game happens. I
Mhm.
would love to have a situations where all the universities would beat and play. I think that would be great. I mean, um, I'm not one to put it together, but I would
No.
definitely put push for the participation uh, in that. And if it's not every year, we do it once every other year or once every 2 to 3 years. I think would be great. Um, I just saw how well uh, going to those events, uh, the before and after of uh, you had the basketball games and everything else, but the different the Adventist community who come from different areas coming together during that time, going to church together, just eating in the cafeteria together, or just being around each other, I think was great. And anytime you can do things such as that, I'm 100% on board. We can. The Oakwood games get intense. They get, highly emotional. But for me, I have a lot of family. When I say family, people that went to TA when I was coaching there. And for me, if I coach you, you're always part of my family. Like, and they know it. So I'm gonna love them, hug them up, but I'm still gonna try to beat their head in this game we're about to play. And then after the game is over, we're gonna hug them, and love them up after the game as well. So it's just all being competitive, yet also understanding, your why. And for me, understanding your why is so important. And I just think that if we can come together and kind of understand why we do what we do, and we're all Christians. So to me, the biggest point of being a Christian is to bring more people to Christ. So if we can do that through basketball, hey, I'm all for it.
Well, Seventh-day Adventist culture is very unique, as you know, and it's the type of thing where, ultimately, like you said, we're all on the same team. We're all Christian. We're all trying to point to each other towards Jesus, and being able to fellowship with people who come from a different place, who are different from you, and getting to build relationships with them. A lot of our high school students end up going to an Adventist university. All of a sudden, hey, I know this person. I've played against them the last few years at Southwestern, at the Andrews tournament, at the Walla Walla tournament, PUC, whatever it is, and you have this fellowship that, and if you look big picture, one of the great things that I love about Seventh-day Adventism is it's a global church, more than 20 million people, and you can go anywhere in the world and worship on a Saturday with people, and you may not even be able to speak their language, but there's a shared affinity because of the culture just, Sabbath observance. You're a part of the same family. So being able to do that on a small scale at an Adventist tournament, I think is a huge benefit as well. So anyway, that's cool to hear. As far as the Adventist, college tournament, we were talking beforehand. I mean, I would love to see it happen too. So maybe one day Adventist Hoops will put together a super tournament for all the Adventist schools. And you said you're committed, right? You're the first
Hey,
school.
I will commit. And look, we could do a 2, 3, 4 year agreement. We will be there. Washington, let every university know off the
I'm gonna
jump.
write this down.
Washington Adventist University will be at each and every Adventist tournament that we have, and we're
All
looking
right,
to have it. We
we'll put it
definitely will.
down. We'll put it down.
Put it down.
Hey, Jerry, I really appreciate your time in talking with us. I just have one more question for you, which is just sort of a general question of what has basketball given to you as a person?
I think that basketball has been God's way of kind of instilling in me my purpose. Like uh, I have been put in these different situations, and I'm 55, so now in my life, I'm able to reflect back in my 55 years of growth. And in my growth, I understand that that's my calling, that like being a basketball coach. And, I don't know why, but I knew that there was a reason for me going to Takoma Academy and coming here to Washington Adventist University. Administrative have been extremely supportive of me and what I do. And, my guys have been you know, they've been very 10 toes down into the things that I do. And they understand that the bigger picture is to live within your purpose. And God brought me here for a reason. And I appreciate being able to, you know, spread his word as well as, be a living role model to my players and, help them through this process. Because when young men and women, the toughest part is when you go from that being a child to a man, and if you can just have that mentorship isn't the same. You want to know something? Mentorship isn't the same as it used to.
Mm,
And it's both sides. One, we don't have as many mentors as we used to, and two, our youth hasn't accepted mentorship,
mm,
the way that they used to. Now, people want to be where you are, as, and not respect the process that it takes to get to where you are.
mm.
And for me, I know God brought me here for a reason, and to be able to touch the students on a daily basis in terms of, you know, how life is, and being able to have an open door for them to come in and talk to me about different things, and to pray with them and them, share some deep things that they may not want to talk to their mom and dad about, uh, is another reason why I think people come here, is because they get that sense that, this is the place for them to be, to have that person to, push things off of. And they know it's not going to just be about basketball. It's going to be about life, because most of the people who come through here aren't going to be pros, even though we've had a number of guys to go overseas and play. We've had far, more who just got their degrees and, everyday working individuals. And we celebrate them just as much as we celebrate the guys who were blessed to go overseas. So for me, it's just being blessed to live in my purpose and know that, this is the place for me.
Well, hey, we're really glad that you're at WAU. We're rooting for you. Uh, you're an honorary Seventh-day Adventist for sure. I mean, at this point, you've been over a decade in our institution. So, I mean, have you been eating more vegetarian over the years? Don't answer that.
Yes,
Don't answer that.
yes, 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 I have
Okay,
been. And
okay.
look, the
So the health
competition
message
makes,
is
yes,
rubbing off on you. Okay. Good. All right. That's good. Hey,
yes.
Jerry, thank you so much. And we're really rooting for you, and best of luck in this upcoming season. We'll be following it.
Well, I thank you for this opportunity, and definitely appreciate you allowing me to share some of the time with you and everything that you do. I said it from the get-go. Everything that you do since I've seen you on this platform has really been something that I'm more than willing to support, and I'm definitely impressed by what I've seen you done and what I know you're going to do as time goes forward.
Appreciate it, Jerry. All right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Have a good one.